Okay, so we are going to talk about Route 53, DNS, all that stuff. Kind of already talked about it on the old video, um, but we're gonna go ahead and set this stuff up in terms of the DNS. So we already have instructions on how to do that. Um, let's see over here. How can I create a domain? Register, there's a domain. All right, cool. So we already did that. We're on step 5. Okay, I'm gonna put this to the side. Go here. Step number 5, create a hosted zone. So once your domain is registered, create a hosted zone to manage its DNS record. Okay, so let's go to dashboard. It's right there, hosted zone. So you already created one for us. Already told us in the email. Okay, that's it right there. So we already have the domain, and we have 2 records. Okay, and so okay, cool. So, anyways, let's go here. We want to go ahead and go to our record. Let's see. Let's go ahead and create a record. My nose keeps on itching. Excuse me. It's like it's so itchy. Excuse me. That was. Yeah, it's gonna be raw. Yeah. Yeah, you guys probably literally just saw me. It's not that deep. Anyways, so this is in what we need to do. We need to go ahead and have an A record. Okay. So this routes traffic to an IPv4 address and some AWS resources. So that's what we need. Okay, there's different ways that we can route like different stuff, but nonetheless we want to route it to an IPv4. This one. Okay, that's going to be the value, and then if we want to add a subdomain, that's pretty cool. So we want to leave this empty, so because it's going to go to the 1%. Cool. Go create the record. So, boom, nice. Then, allow DNS propagation can take up to 48 hours, but often faster. It says you can use a tool called DNS Checker. And so, I'm going to go ahead, I mean, we could just type it in. Let's go ahead and look at that. Ain't that cool? So look, I want you guys to really see how cool this is. Like, this is amazing. We have, let's go to EC2. So so really quick, guys, and this is, I want you guys to understand this. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. There is a lot of different services, right? There's EC2, Route 53, right? S3, IAM, RDS, VPC, different stuff that we can use, okay? Different container services, there's different compute services, there's different database services, but what we're going to use is the EC2 service, okay? This is a service, EC2. Now there's different resources inside this service. The resources are going to be on the left side, okay? For VPC, which is the service, the resources are going to be on the left side. Make sense? Cool. Now, inside the EC2 service, the resource that we're looking for is Elastic IP. And I want you guys to look at that IP address that we created. This is to make sure that if we were to restart the server, the IP is not going to change. Because if you restart it without an Elastic IP, it will change. And so what we just did was associate this IP address with this domain name that we created, that we paid for and registered, the 1%.net. And so now what I did here was to check if this domain is associated, which is DNS checker, right? .org. And so look, 100.28.112.24. 100.28.112.24. So that lets us know that, hey, we're good to go. So if I type in Netflix, Netflix.com, right, it has different IP addresses, okay? And so really quick, I'm just really curious, what will happen if I try to ping my own IP address? What will happen? So the ping and that's something I can look into in terms of why it didn't work. Let's also look at just looking at excuse me, trying to ping these IP addresses, which is where the anyways, that's not really that important, but I'm actually going to do some research, learn about it, like why I can't ping my actual public IP. It's on a public subnet. So anyways, I don't know if this is public, but I'm going into a rabbit hole right now, and it's not the main thing that you guys have to pay attention to. I'm just curious to see this, because this was the default subnet. Anyways, now what we're gonna do is just test it. Now when we type this in, it should hit our website. Site can't be reached. So we need to see why. So I'm going to copy that and paste it into ChatGPT. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to say, I set up the DNS record, but I'm getting this error. See what it says. So it's already saying, yo, make sure you have the security group you need. I mean, that's what I think it is. Because all this stuff is not true because we've already connected. This is like security and networking problems that could be the reason. So it's saying you probably can't reach it because, there's a firewall blocking it. But like literally, if we just go ahead and if we use the IP, it's gonna hit it. So the only thing that makes sense is this right here. That's number one. Yeah. DNS changes can take time to propagate. Yeah, it has. So it says check this to see if it's propagated. Oh wait, hold on. Do I have to use? Do I type the IP in name or the domain name? I'm just pasting the results. So it has propagated. I'm able to connect to the site with the IP, but I get that error when I type my domain name. So just to double check, let's go ahead and check one last time. Ah, look at that. It works. I don't think we typed in, I think we typed in 1%. I don't know what we're typing, but it works. So now what I'm gonna do, so you see, so y'all see how cool that is? Like we just associated an IP address to a domain name that we created. So now I'm gonna go to my community. I started this mini project. I'm creating my own website that's hosted on AWS. I created this. I'm gonna say created EC2 server. Installed. So first off, I'm going to check out the prototype. Check out the website here. Using this link. Alright, created the EC2 server. I'm going to say installed Apache web server. I'm going to say, so I can just copy this. So let's look at what we did, right? So first off, let me say this. I'm going to copy this. So just to make this easier, I'm going to copy this, right? I'm going to say, this follow ChatGPT. I'm going to say, this is what I have so far to post in my Slack community for my students to know what I did here. Finish this post and explain everything that I did. Boom. I'm going to say, make it short, sweet, and simple. So let's look at this. Here's a mini project of building my own. I want you to I actually like this. It's explaining different stuff. So, anyways, I'm gonna come here, paste that there. Okay. Yeah. A project update building my own website. I started this mini project where I'm creating my own very website to host blog posts for financial for okay. Created the EC2 server. I launched an EC2 server. I launched the EC2 instance on AWS to serve as a backbone for my website. This is essentially my server that handles all incoming requests for the site. Installed Apache web server. I installed Apache, a popular web server, to manage and serve the content of my website to visitors. It ensures the website files can be accessed over the internet. Configured DNS records. I purchased the domain name the1%.net and set up DNS records in AWS Route 53 to point the domain to my EC2 instance public IP address. This ensures that typing my domain name in the browser takes you to my website. Uploaded website content. I'm going to say add that I created a elastic IP to keep a consistent IP address even if the EC2 server shuts down to avoid problems with DNS. Okay, so I'm going to add this to the bottom. And then also I'm going to post this, right, on LinkedIn. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to post this right under DNS. Actually, let me post this here. Created an elastic IP. So actually, let's see if we can make this a little bit more neat. Okay, so I attached an elastic IP to my EC2 instance to ensure the IP address remains consistent even if the server is restarted to avoid any potential DNS issues caused by changing IPs. I purchased the domain name instead of the DNS record, but I already read that. I designed a simple yet functional website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript using ChatGPT to do all the coding. The site files includes index.html, were uploaded to the EC2 server so visitors can see the website when they access the domain. Enable HTTP traffic. I configured my EC2 instance security group to allow HTTP traffic on port 80, ensuring the website is accessible to everyone. Tested and troubleshoot issues. I tested the website to ensure it works properly. There was an issue accessing it via domain name initially, but I resolved it by configuring Apache to handle requests for. So this one right here, don't need that. Alright, cool. And so we're going to put this channel. Cool. And now I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to LinkedIn. Post it. There it is. Oops. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna copy this, go to ChatGPT, make this postable for LinkedIn. So I should be able to just, there we go. So now, I'm gonna add breaks in here. And so this is just like the baseline, right? I'm gonna add more features, add more blog posts. I'm gonna actually change that blog because it's very basic and it has even some typo errors. I'm gonna post that. Alright, cool. So, yeah, that's it. That was the DNS part, and I wanted you guys to see how I did the DNS, and also how you can actually access it with the IP address, boom, or with this, boom. If we go to blogs, we should see, yep, blog.html. If we go to blog here, we're going to see, boom, IP-blog.html. Letting you know that you can access the website via IP address, domain name. And now when you type in Netflix.com, you understand what's going on behind it. There is an IP address associated with that. I don't know the IP associated, but nonetheless, you get the point. That is all. Probably work on this some more tomorrow, but I'm pretty tired. And yeah, this is pretty fun. This is pretty fun. I want to like implement some automation tools. Maybe the best automation, maybe GitHub Actions. Like so, like when I push updates to my repository in GitHub, it'll automatically send the files to my the directory, the var dash ac www.html directory. So like pretty much where my files are hosted on my web server, that directory. And so like all I have to do is just edit it on my computer, push it to GitHub where all my code is going to be like live remotely where anyone can access it. It's going to be private, so not anyone can access it. And then it'll automatically run a GitHub action trigger. I have to set that up where it will automatically update or like push the new like committed code in the main branch in the repo to will automatically grab the new code, push that to my server. So I think that's going to be the next thing I'm going to set up. Well, the next thing is I'm going to add some more blog posts locally, because I want this to be like something people can actually use and read. Add some, maybe some a little design work, and then yeah, like I really love this stuff. This stuff is really cool. So yeah, hopefully you guys pick up one or two things along the journey, learn something. Maybe hopefully it sparks someone out there to go learn this stuff. Dudes, that's it.